Okay, guys. Once again, I think I am very late to the party, and just so you know, I do not normally look this disheveled anymore. I actually came in from a isolated thunderstorm, and the thundering is gone, but it's still raining pretty good out there. Um, so as I tried to review the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, but I couldn't find it on. I found it on Amazon, it just wasn't available. And I also kind of feel like I have enough of an idea of what to talk about with this today's subject. It's not about if this is solely about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. I'm gonna make it more so about my take on the whole show, on the franchise in general, and my experiences watching the show and all that good stuff. So, um, I think I might want to start with a little history, but then again, I'm pretty sure most of the people that follow me and like Power Rangers, which is a probably a smaller number than the amount of Ninja Storm Rangers we had at the beginning of that series. But um, yeah, the show has 25th anniversary, and I'm really impressed that the show is still going. I mean, there were definitely points where the show almost got canceled, and then it would bounce back with a lot of good seasons. I mean, Turbo almost killed Power Rangers, but then In Space led to several great seasons back to back. And um the show came out about a year before my time because I uh I was the show had already finished its first season and was working on its second season by the time I was born in October of 1994, and Power Rangers came out in August of 93. So yeah. And from the get go, I loved the theme song when I first heard it, and I'd seen a few episodes of Power Rangers before, but my parents were a little hesitant to let me watch the show. I'll give you three good guesses why. Um, but yeah, they were one of those parents that thought the show was too violent and not appropriate for kids. But to that I say, what group of kids are going to play Power Rangers and have one of their friends be the monster? Most of it, from what I remember seeing growing up, it was always kids picking a random ranger, and the worst part that would happen is that a kid would be his or her least favorite Power Ranger in the group. I have heard stories of kids getting hurt while playing Power Rangers, but not while fighting, while trying to do the acrobatic jumps and leaps, or kicking the air. Uh, yeah, kids. It's basically dumb kids that realized that weren't aware you needed to be professionally trained to do those stunts and not just a wide-eyed innocent child trying to imitate them. So when I got to be 8 years old, I was finally able to watch the Power Rangers series. And even when I was watching it, I never really, I wasn't watching it religiously. It was one of those things where I wanted to watch it because I liked it, or mainly because I knew I wasn't supposed to watch it. I'm pretty sure it was the whole "oh, I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing" thing. But yeah, I eventually started to watch Power Rangers, and the first season I actually watched the majority of, not in order, but all the way through sporadically in order, was Dino Thunder, which that's kind of an interesting series to. All right, now you know my clothes are in. Now you know my clothes are in the dryer, and I'm not home alone. At any rate, so yeah, it's kind of interesting to start watching a full season of Power Rangers with Dino Thunder, because it's kind of the show is kind of a callback to, or that season is a callback to the first three seasons, which was known as Mighty Morphin. Not only with the idea of having a prehistoric animals as the main theme, Jason David Frank returning as the iconic role of Tommy Oliver. Only this time he's a teacher and he's an adult, not you know, and he's more of a mentor in that season than an actual ranger. But he kind of has it both ways, I guess you could say. And honestly, I have a lot of fond memories watching the show. And until recently, I kind of figured that would just be one of those things I would have fun thinking back on, but not really be interested in watching a season of. Not just Dino Thunder, but just Power Rangers in general. And yeah, I've seen a few clips of him on YouTube, and I've seen other people review the show. I mean, the Disney Brain on YouTube, Linkara, who used to be with Channel Awesome, and I think he's doing his own thing now. But yeah, Power Rangers is a very popular franchise, and I'm actually surprised that the show has lasted 25 years because when you think about it, the show really has one formula that they beat into the ground and then keep beating it to the Earth's core, which is a group of teenagers or young adults come together, they fight some flunkies of the villain, they have some superficial problem before leading up to that minion fight. They fight the big monster of the episode. Things escalate. They end up morphing. They blow up the monster. The monster resurrects itself by magic and ends up being a giant skyscraper version of of what it was before. And then the Rangers get in these giant robots called Zords. They combine to make one super robot, the Megazord, and then for some reason blowing up the monster a second time is the official demise of the monster. I'm not really sure why blowing the monster up a second time would kill it if it survived being blown up the first time. But I gotta give the movie a lot. I gotta give the show a lot of credit because it did change things up a bit. It did have more season-long story arcs throughout many seasons. It does have some interesting characters and some stories, and I think there's just something to the charm of the goofy but occasionally serious nature of the show, and the fact that they keep doing new series is that I think for fans who are watching some of the more recent seasons, and then seeing those anniversary specials, I think they're probably be very interested to see what the previous seasons were like since they weren't around in '93. But all in all, I will say this: the show, I still like it, but I think that's more of a nostalgia goggles kind of thing. I wouldn't mind rewatching the series with a friend at some point, but I'm not quite. I'm pretty sure I'd be watching it and start laughing at some of the effects. I mean, I still like the show, but I'm one of those people where it's like I can like something and still make fun of it and still enjoy this very thing I'm poking fun at. Yeah, I'm very liberal with that. And yeah, I didn't put a title card in here. Well, I'll put a title card at any rate. So I think it's definitely nice to see that this show is continuing to run, and I'm not sure how long they can keep this up, but the show has proven repeatedly that when they're out of ideas, they come up with something new that really seems to help. So that's my take on Power Rangers, and this I'm not sure if I'll be able to review The Searching this week, but hopefully I can catch it in theaters. See ya.